So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Today, we're going to look at how the Deltic Group achieved record business impact and record sales growth and record social ROI of up to 292% just by using social media marketing. My name's Stuart Banbury. I'm your host today. We're going to take a quick look at who our other speakers are before we move on. So we have Darren Fiander. Darren is the Sales and Marketing Director here at SocialSignIn. Darren's responsible for leading the strategic success of both SocialSignIn and our partners to make sure they get maximum value out of the platform and just to align their strategy with the platform itself. We're also joined by Tim Howard. Tim is the Marketing and Operations Director at the Deltic Group. Now, Tim has more than 20 years experience throughout the hospitality and entertainment sectors and has led many successful initiatives. Tim's regarded as a bit of a pioneer in his sector, so we're very happy to have him with us today, and he'll be sharing his insights on how the Deltic Group has achieved this record year of success. Now, a quick overview of what we're going to take a look at today. So this is the agenda. We're going to start off by Darren is going to take us through a quick walkthrough of the central role that kind of social media now plays in business and have a look at some of the common frustrations and the common challenges that previously came into play when we spoke about social media marketing. I'm then going to hand over to Tim, and Tim's going to talk us through a few slides on really how the Deltic Group have achieved this record year of growth. And then we're going to have a look at some of the tools that we use by the Deltic Group to really drive this awareness, this traffic, these opportunities, and this kind of, this, I think it's 4 years of consecutive growth now for the Deltic Group. So we're going to have a look at some of the tricks of the trade that really underpin that growth. We'll then summarise and have a look at the key takeaways from today's webinar before a quick Q&A session at the end. So we really want you to get the most out of today's webinar. So please tweet us your questions using the hashtag #GrowThroughSocial. All microphones will be muted during today's webinar, and if you do have to drop off at any point, don't worry, because a recording will be emailed out afterwards. So I'm now going to hand you over to our Commercial Director, Darren Fiander, who's going to just talk about the journey that SocialSignIn has come through so far, and then lead into Tim's presentation. So Darren, over to you now.
Yeah, thank you, Stuart. Hello, everybody. SocialSignIn offer the most complete social media management platform, and we are trusted by big brands to build meaningful relationships throughout the entire customer journey. Now, our story started back in 2012 when we had the desire to solve a growing problem, and that problem was the ability to harness and scale the power of social within organizations. Today, our complete social platform is trusted by organizations across the globe to deliver exceptional customer service and marketing impact. On the next slide, you'll see some of our highlights so far as a company. In 2012, we came onto the scene and SocialSignIn was born. In 2013, we launched our unique customer service inbox that helped organizations better deliver customer service through social media. In 2014, we took our mobile app to the market. This mobile app was designed to help organizations who were on the move, on the front door of venues, to better interact with their social users. And going to more modern day times now, we're releasing our marketing module that will help you build better content for your organization. You'll be able to decentralize social across your business, allowing your local shops, your local venues to post out branded content that you've approved. Now, who do we help? We help a range of organizations across a variety of different verticals, from Iceland Foods, the Deltic Group, of course, Silverstone, National Express, and they all have very common problems. They want to consolidate their existing social media platforms they have into one centralized location. They want to bring their customer service team on board, their marketing team, their PR team, and have everybody working coherently to create beautiful content that is going to trigger emotional reactions, that people are going to come back to them day in, day out, and move on to those digital channels that are more cost effective. Now, the role social media now plays, for those of us here who, like me, were on MySpace before it was decimated by Facebook, you know what it's like to be mocked by people who simply just didn't get social media at the time. Since 2004, the growth of social has been near exponential. Back in those days, Facebook, arguably the most mature of the top social networks at the time, only had about 1 million users. Today, Facebook has more than 1 billion registered users. Now, what was once believed to be a passing fad has turned into one of the most popular ways for brands to cultivate and engage an audience whilst driving sales. The next slide as well kind of highlights that more and more time is being spent on social media. Users are not going on the telephones, are not waiting on listening to your kind of call recording track and waiting to get through to a human person. They want that instant gratification of sending their complaint, sending their inquiry, and getting a response straight away. Now, this next slide shows the common social media frustrations that have been identified within organizations. No business wants to put money and resources into something that just doesn't pay off. Will the results from the channel make the effort, time, and cost worth it? How will you prove this? Is there content that will better perform and show a higher ROI? How is this going to be measured? These are all kind of questions that you are likely, or should be, asking yourselves. Of course, the optimal place to measure the effectiveness of social media is in an e-commerce environment, because you can track behavior all the way through to the sale. But even if you're not in an e-commerce enabled environment, you could still provide coupons or even redeemable offline offers. So if you want to neatly measure social media ROI or ROE, give your customers and fans a clear assignment with tracked clicks and post-click landing pages and forms. Now, social media is an essential tool for all organizations that, when used correctly, can exponentially increase the visibility of your brand within an arena where simply just get lost in the crowd. More and more companies are creating social media pages for people to follow and like, so they can keep updated with the latest news and activity, but also so they can learn more about their customers. Social media has become a customer service platform for most companies, a place where customers can voice concerns or complaints, or even praise a company. A huge benefit of social media is that it gives you the chance to humanize your brand and connect with your customers on a more emotional level. This allows you to foster the meaningful relationships that lead to more engagements and interactions with pages, in return generating organically driven traffic and leads.
Thank you, Darren. That's fantastic. So yeah, that's given us a bit of a backdrop really to today's webinar, some of the common challenges and some of the goals that all of us social media marketers previously faced. So we're now going to take a look at how the Deltic Group have really tackled some of these problems and overcome them. So I'm very pleased to welcome now to the webinar Tim Howard, and Tim is going to give us a quick profile of who the Deltic Group are, and then talk about some of their really significant social media successes over the last 4 years. So Tim, it's now over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Really, I'll just say who we are and what our challenges are. Deltic Group, big nightclub operator in the UK, got 59 venues. One of our challenges is always we are in a number of locations up and down the country under a number of different brands. And we have 20 odd different brands, and they all speak in a different language to a different set of customers. We've won a number of awards for being great operators, great operating teams, and being responsible retailers. On the whole, we run our business as a professional business, and we have lots of challenges not just from our customers and having a customer base, but also being compliant with legality and the likes of that. You can click on. Last year we had a great year. We are measured very much on how we drive our business forward. So last year we were 280% ahead on our sales growth for pre-purchase tickets, booths, packages, and that's predominantly driven by social media, and I'll explain that to yourself. We record increases in operating profit, which is driven by the sales growth. Just to give you a backdrop of how many people we deal with, we had through the front doors 6.9 million people. Our age is predominantly 18 to 24-year-olds, so they're all very tech savvy. They are the social media generation, and therefore we do a lot of our conversations within the social media space. We've had 4 years continuous growth, so we must be doing something quite well. Our systems are always built on what we need to do, not what we think we want to do. So Deltic Group achieved record social return on investment. One thing I have to say is we measure our return on investment how we want to do it. There are a lot of people out there will tell you how to do it. We have a number of KPIs that are very important to us. It's not always about money. It can be about social currency. It can be about protecting licenses and all sorts. So we measure things in a different way, but we're very careful in the way we do it. We grew by 17 million in 1 quarter. That's continuous over our reach. That's continuous week in, day out. Our likes have grown by 38%. Where we're successful is we have a range of people who engage in social media throughout the organisation. We use social media not just for our customers and us communicating with them, we also use them for internal mechanisms and get feedback and the likes there. So we're quite happy. Overall, we've got 1.2 million people in Facebook world. We've got 250,000 in Twitter and just over 100,000 in Instagram. So we are quite savvy in this space. Move on to the next one. How marketing has changed. Over the years, traditional marketing was always one way. It was push messaging. It was telling people what they need to buy and giving them a price. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen anymore. You need to warm your customers up. They need to be engaged with you. We all know what brands are about. Building a collection of people. Gone are the days you tell people what to do. You have to consult and you have to be in that part. Most of our sales are started in social media. If it doesn't start there, we take it to there. The way we manage our infrastructure is the conversations and the chit chat are had in social media. So it's a two-way communication. Once we've managed to do that and have those conversations, and we know then that there's a time someone wants to buy, then we take them into our infrastructure and we convert them into a sale. And we have a bespoke booking system that allows us to do that and monitor conversations. The reason why we use social media, people are on it all the time. It's fast. We can have ideas flying around. Our strength really is we are very switched on to engaging our customers in different crazes. If you are very quick, then they will want to hear what you have to say. So the Pokemon craze, we were on that probably before most retailers. Huge talk around, therefore people think we are engaged in them. We know what they like, they know what we like. We did things around the Olympics where the pool went green, so we'll have a green cocktail, and we'll make up lots of stories for people to get engaged and believe that we are in the same space as them. And that's the way that works. So how have we got record-breaking results? If I'm to be fair, we do have sales teams. We introduced those about a year and a half. We have a single customer view database, which social media again feeds into that, so we know what customers do, when they do it, if they purchase, when they purchase, what they like to purchase, and that links back into our social. So we know what people want, and we will go to them at the times that we believe is good for them. Contacts made through Facebook, it's easy to do that. We need in Deltic to actually be able to monitor at different levels. So a lot of the conversation and the sales are done at venue level, but we also have to have a corporate responsibility at central level that will basically turn around and make sure that we are abiding by the laws, we're not selling to children, we're using we're using copyrighted photography, all sorts of bits and pieces. So we are very very governed by the actions that our managers take. So we're quite trustworthy. We allow them to do what they need to do, but we do it within a framework. Off the back of that, we have reporting. If it's reported on, it tends to change a habit. We do a lot of development around how do we do different conversations in different areas, and we actually within the company we also have a social media forum that allows all of our social media people, there's about 120 in the forum, that are forever exchanging ideas, talking about how they've managed to get things over the line and to be current. So we not only listen to our customers, we also listen to our staff. Next. How to build social communities and turn them into footfall. Everything really is about engagement. As I said, we have a national framework, so we trust our managers to have carte blanche to what they want to do, but we give them rules. If we turned around and said, you have to do this and you have to do that, we would just drive social media underground. SocialSignIn allows us to sort of keep an eye on what they're doing and to encourage their engagement and seeing what they do. So it's all about relevance. It's all around, for our customers, they actually have it's a social currency, so they want to know what's going on, when it's going on. They want to be the first to be there, and they want to have acceptance from their friendship group. So hopefully we become that first place that they would go to find out what's happening within our environment and for us. And as I said, we have the social media forum. That means anything that becomes very very quick in and out, we tend to pick up on those trends. We go into them and we drop them just as quick, but we have the engagement. Next. How Deltic Group grew their social reach by 17 million. It's all about content. It's not about sell. It is about providing the right messages at the right time. So we know, for example, our customers go into Facebook at 7 o'clock on a Friday, Saturday night, so we're not going to be posting at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday morning or the likes. We know that in Instagram it's great for photos, it's not great for selling. So we might turn around and say, well, why on earth would we use Instagram? We have to be in that space because we have to understand our customers and they have to be able to see us where they want us to be. But the great thing we have is we have 60 venues with 90 odd social media accounts, and they're all talking amongst each other all the time, and they're engaging each other's customers, so we can automatically pull other people in and have common conversations. How we improve our likes? Fairly straightforward. I mean, we are fairly good within the physical world. We have 6.9 million people come through the front doors, so we are the place to go if you are wanting to go out dancing and go out and meet people. We try and emanate that and those values within our social media and also with our online. So that tends to organically bring people on. In our world, 18, 24-year-olds, they search for more on Facebook than they do on Google. You know, they're wanting that endorsement from their crowds, from their friends, and they want to know that the decisions they're making are going there. And the other thing is, we are in that space all the time, so we can respond quickly, and then they can make their mind up on very real-time information. Most of our staff are our target market, so they're 18-25s. They also cascade a lot of our information from them, so don't forget how important they are within when you're talking to these people and you're building that community. You know, a member of bar staff is important to a customer and vice versa. It's all about that personal recognition. Why people are our currency in Deltic? We used to do everything on a financial basis. Everything was the bottom right-hand corner of a spreadsheet. If it didn't make profit, then we didn't do it. It can't be anymore. You know, you have to understand that if they aren't engaged in what you do, they won't get engaged with us. We've got a few things coming over the hill in the next couple of 3 years, from anything from privacy laws and the like. So if you don't get your act together and people don't want to communicate with you, they will block you out, and therefore it'll become quite expensive to talk to these people. The personal interaction thing is huge. We do a lot of research with our customers. We ask them what they want. They come back to us. They tell them what they want. We interpret that into what we can deliver, and then we tend to give people what they want at what time. And it's been incredibly successful for us. And we do it all out in open. We don't mind if anybody else sees, maybe our competitors see what we do. At the end of the day, if we are good at what we do, then you can have open conversations. Most modern day companies do that nowadays. And we understand our customers, and basically you get your social, you get your engagement right, the money will follow. Why did Deltic Group use social sign-in? I ask myself that every day. No, I don't. Social sign-in, reason we use them really is we need something that our managers will get engaged in, and allow them to be free spirits and not drive stuff underground. So that was quite important. We also wanted a company that would develop with us and help us develop in those areas. You know, we have our ideas, but they're predominantly customer-facing ideas. But as you will all know, social media change their rules and regulations every other day. Social sign-in help us through those areas, and we wanted a product that, as we develop, as social media develops, then we've got a company that's fairly quick on their feet and will listen to what we have to say. And we've developed a number of things over a period of time that have helped us reporting, have helped us control our management. So from our point of view, it's incredibly important that we have someone like-minded but quick on their feet, and social sign-in are those people.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Jim. That's been brilliant. What I'm going to do now is just quickly summarise, I think, some of the key takeaways that Tim alluded to there, that some of you guys can hopefully take away and apply and put into practice straight away. So I think the first point Tim made, very important, is to, you know, you need to be part of the conversation. If you're not part of the conversation, you're not kind of accepted within those circles, then there's no way that you can kind of elicit the kind of responses and the conversions that you're looking for. So the key way to do that is through the content. So producing content that your target audience will want to share themselves amongst their own peers. And to do that, we need to use their language. We need to talk about their topics, and we need to jump onto those same trends that your audience is also talking about themselves. The next key one, a nice phrase that Tim himself used, was national framework, local execution. And I think this is a common kind of approach that we see amongst all of our most successful social media practitioners, and it really does generate the very best return on investment and return on engagement. So give your social team and even your wider social users that kind of central infrastructure to work within, but then those guys at local level with their ears to the ground, they have that local knowledge, they can have that local chit chat and conversation, and that's when you really start to generate strong engagement. Next, social media, it really is the best kind of conduit for that two-way conversation. Gone are the days of kind of traditional push messaging through TV, through radio, even through email and newsletters now. Social media, if you get it right in terms of the content and the language, it really does allow you to have that two-way conversation and to start to build those strong, meaningful relationships. And of course, the beauty of social media is that it's fast, it's instant, it allows you to be quick on your feet. So you can generate ideas and opportunities, and they can very quickly be capitalized upon. Tim also mentioned about channels, and I think it's very important. There's a kind of a plethora of different social media channels that can be used now. So you don't need to be on all of them continuously. So define which channels your audience are using and the best channels for you to speak to them on, and then start to define a strategy for each of those channels. Don't just blanket message the same content across every channel, and this in turn will kind of give you the best chance of your audience sharing and engaging with your content. And then if you do want to make your social pages at least one of the main points of contact for your organization, it's very important that you respond in a kind of a timely and a quick fashion, making sure that those responses are effective and they provide the information that the inquirer is looking for there and then. So don't try and push those inquiries to different channels. Good practice social customer service responds and effectively answers questions there and then. So we've just been monitoring some of the tweets that have been sent in during the last 20 minutes or so. So I'm just going to put some of these to the floor to Tim and to Darren to answer. So the first one that was sent in was, how do we effectively centrally monitor marketing at our local branches? So that might be from, I guess, from a retailer or from maybe a kind of a pub brand. So I guess, Tim, that's probably one for you to answer.
How do we do it? We actually have a central resource. We have one person that looks after social sign-in and the channels we have, and their role is to and they do this through social sign-in. We look at response rates, we look at messages that are coming into the inbox, we look at speed of turnaround, have we missed messages and the likes, and then through the social forum we tend to train people around where the pinch points are. But we have great sight of what our managers are doing. The difficulty we had at the very beginning was everybody knows better and will go into Facebook itself or into Twitter itself. You have to turn around and tell them that's not an option. They must come in through social sign-in. Then at centre you have a total view of everything they're doing, and you encourage them in those spaces to do. If you turn around and it's carte blanche, it can't be done, you'll just drive it underground. When it's underground, you won't get to see your complaints, you won't get to see anything. So from our point of view, our managers go in through it, we see everything, and we have quite a positive attitude towards social media, really.
That's great, thank you very much, Tim. Next question we've had sent in is, how do I build internally the business case to invest in social? Maybe Darren, if you'd like to answer that one for us.
Yeah, of course. So that's always a tricky one. I mean, the key thing is to identify who is actually going to be involved in social in your organization. You want to make sure you've got all the key stakeholders involved in that conversation very early on, and that you're going out there and you're identifying what is your decision criteria, what are you going to be looking at trying to achieve, and going back to the point earlier, what are the outcomes in terms of ROI? What is the key metrics you're trying to drive? That will help you identify what kind of business case you need to create. And here at SocialSignIn, we have some great sales team members who can also help you through that process as well.
Great, thank you very much, Darren. Our third question today was, how do I identify key influencers within our sector? So maybe Darren, if you'd like to answer that one for us as well.
Yeah, so one of the ways you can do it, there's a whole host of different ways, through the platform especially. You can look at people's influence score, so we have a clout score, and you can filter down by that and find specific people who have a high influence score. So they are people who are very popular on Twitter, let's say, and they might be heavily retweeted, or they might post out a lot of content, or perhaps they have a high number of followers, and you can use different aspects of SocialSignIn in this case to identify them people through the inbox, where you can see which influencers are sending inquiries to you. But you can also use the monitoring section as well, where you can actually find people talking about certain topics and get involved with the high influencers in them areas as well.
Great, thank you very much, Darren. Our next question is, how do I drive buy-in and adoption from traditional non-social media users? Tim, I guess this could be closely kind of aligned to some of your venue managers and some of those social media ambassadors that don't stick within a traditional social media role. So how do you go about achieving that?
Success. Success tends to breed engagement from everybody else. And at the very beginning, it was very, very difficult because everybody knows better. But we use a lot of case studies. We take them through how we can save them time, how they can be more current and get better reach. You know, everybody tends to go for everything, whereas we'd be much better off targeting and spending our money on advertising and the likes in very specific ways. So we're much more targeted, and those successful managers tell the other managers, and it spreads virally across the company. And I have to say, every week we get better and better. You know, we have Bernice who runs our social platforms for us, develops her team, get better and better every day, and we're getting better engagement. So we're happy with that, to be fair.
Great, thank you, Tim. Our final question for today, before we start to wrap things up, is if you could offer one piece of advice for social media marketing, what would it be? So I'll put this to both of you. Darren, if you'd like to answer that one first. I'm not sure if Darren's still there. Okay, Tim, maybe if you would like to answer that one for us then. So what's your one piece of advice on social media marketing for kind of budding marketers out there?
My big advice is don't be scared of it. Be open-minded. Don't be judgmental. And listen to what your customers have to say. And if you listen to your customers and interpret it and respond to it, you'll have a successful business. Don't drive stuff underground. People complain, respond, react very quickly. Customers move on very quickly.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Tim. Okay, so that's all the questions we've had in, and that brings us to the end of today's webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. We hope you've really gotten some useful value and takeaways that you can go and start putting into action straight away. What we'll do, we'll send out a recording of this broadcast over the next few days, so anything you missed or you want to revisit, you'll be able to do that. We're also going to send out a feedback form, so we'd love to get your kind of feedback on what you thought about the webinar, and potential future areas that we can look at for you to help you out to keep generating those sales, those results, and that engagement. So I'm going to leave it there. It's getting on towards 5 o'clock now, so I'm sure you're all eager to get home. So thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to speaking to you again soon.